Hello, everyone. Welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 436. Andrew here. Let's talk about video games. Let's talk about video game movies. Let's talk about video game movies based on popular video games. Let's talk about sequels to video game movies based on popular video games. Eighth Demon says, done with Beyond the Horizon. New week is Pokemon Champions, then Pragmata. Oh, that sounds like a plan. I actually played a video game this week. Surprise. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. So, I have seen the original Super Mario Brothers movie. The one with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. Even as a child, I thought it was not very good. And while I was certainly more precious about adhering to the, if not the lore, at least the iconography, the tangible details of the property I so loved, that wasn't really the reason I didn't like the movie. I didn't hate the movie, but I didn't like the movie because it's just not a very good movie. It's Maybe I enjoy it more as an adult just because it's so gosh darn weird that it's entertaining to sit there going like, what were they thinking? What were they going for? Why this decision? That's such an odd decision. You know what we should do in our Super Mario movie? What, Frank? We should have Mario fish a diamond out of some woman's cleavage with his face. Like in the video game. Did you ever play the video game? No. This was before YouTube, so no one. It's like, did none of you even have like kids with the video game that could say, "Hey, little Dick and Jane, fire up the NES and play some Mario for me, so I know what the hell I'm doing." What's the studio note? Yoshi has to be in it? What's a Yoshi? Oh, it's a dinosaur. Okay. And they made a dinosaur, which is why Yoshi looks nothing like the Yoshi in the game. It's not even the right color. Like, it genuinely comes across like nobody took the time or had the interest in seeing what the game looked like, right? One of my favorite examples that I just keep coming back to is the bombs. Bombs are those cartoon bombs with feet and a little wind-up key on the back, and they just kind of march at you and they explode. Now, Mario is not realistically proportioned, but if he were, you would kind of expect the bomb to be about the size of, whatever that's the size, a really large grapefruit. The cartoon bomb that Adam West's Batman would run around with. That's the vibe you get from the games. But in the movie, while it looks like what you would expect a bomb to look like, it's about this big. And I always waffle between, did they decide to scale it down like that because they just thought it would be funnier? Okay, it's not just a wind-up toy bomb that hobbles after you. It's a really tiny one. Big boom, small packages. The smaller we can make it, the funnier it is because everyone's horrified. It's like people reacting to a Flurkin in the Marvel universe, and Flurkins look like just a friggin' house cat, but people freak out about him, and you don't know why. So the smaller we make the bomb, the funnier it is. Maybe. Or they just bought a regular little wind-up toy and painted it up to look like a bomb because they just couldn't be bothered to fabricate something that would be more representative of the creature from the video games. Honestly, not sure. But bowling ball? Well, I mean, like bowling balls. Yeah, it may be a smaller bowling ball. Um, so yeah, the original Super Mario Brothers movie is even if you kind of ignore the fact that seemingly no one involved with the film had any knowledge or interest in the video games at all. Even aside from that, it's just not a very good movie. Again, as an adult, I think it's weird enough to be interesting because it's just a bafflingly odd movie. Um, couple decades later, they made a animated Super Mario Brothers movie where while the various characters Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, and the like all got makeovers for the film. They're not an exact one-to-one model match for even the most recent games. They're still recognizably Mario and Luigi and Peach and Bowser and Donkey Kong and Lumas and all the rest. Uh, the characters in the Mario movie, the animated one, look like are recognizably Mario characters. I saw the first movie whenever the hell it came out, a couple years ago, and I liked it just fine. I thought it was high energy, colorful, fun, funny more often than not. The humor worked for me. For me, most of the jokes landed, um, and didn't overstay its welcome. I found it genuinely aesthetically gorgeous. I found it a very attractive movie to look at. One hell of a, from an animation and effects perspective, a technical accomplishment. I enjoyed the movie, but I don't think I would ever say it's a good movie. Of course, how you define a movie as good really depends on you, right? If a movie perfectly succeeds at what it set out to do, is it therefore a good movie? I wouldn't push back if you made that argument to me. But for me, I don't call the first Super Mario Brothers movie a good movie because I feel it's lacking in some of the elements that I value pretty highly when it comes to film. Character, narrative, and themes. Of which the movie has them, but they're not really a priority and they're kind of one-dimensional. And I think the most frustrating part of the first Super Mario Brothers movie for me is there's a lot of potential to have some really interesting themes explored. Uh, as an example, I haven't seen it since it came out in the theater a couple years ago, although I saw it at the drive-in, which was finally a good movie to watch at the drive-in because it's a bright and colorful film. So, hard watching movies at the drive-in, particularly ones that are not particularly bright, like horror movies, not great at the drive-in. Can't see what's going on. I saw 65, that Adam Driver movie with dinosaurs. I still have no idea what was going on at the end of the movie. I think there was a T-Rex fight. I think there might have been 2 or 3 T-Rexes. I honestly could not tell. It was too damn dark. But I'm pretty sure I saw everything in the Mario movie. In the Mario movie, there's this really interesting parallel between Mario and Donkey Kong in that they are both striving to live up to the expectations of their families, their respective families, and particularly their fathers. And it's like, ooh, that is some potentially juicy thematic meat on which to gnaw. And the movie just doesn't. It's there, but the movie just is like, I see you over there, themes. You know, not really that interesting. Does it make it a worse movie? No, but I think it could have made it a better movie. Um, it's a kids movie. What do you expect? I expected exactly what I got. I just thought it was a shame that it could have been more. I don't think exploring the themes that are already there would have made the film any less appealing for children. There's a bunch of animated films that are aimed squarely at a younger audience and are have great characters, great stories, and are thematically rich. That's it's not a one or the other thing. Now it's definitely difficult to do. It certainly takes a deft storytelling hand, and perhaps the creatives at Illumination and it was decided that maybe they tried and it just wasn't working. It became clumsy or boring or killed the momentum, or they felt that way. But the movie is definitely aimed at, well, children. It's a movie for kids, pretty young kids, like 8-year-olds. It's a loud, flashy movie with fart jokes, and for what it is, it succeeds. That's why I asked earlier. It's like if a movie succeeds on what it sets out to do, isn't that a good movie? I guess it depends on the audience. Uh, I look at the movie and I like the movie, but I also look at it and go, you know, you could have just added a little spice there, made it a little bit better. Oh, there's a fun food analogy. It's like a dinner that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly edible, looks nice. It fills the belly. It's tasty, but with just a little bit of spice, it could have been just that much better without putting off the intended audience. Oh well. So, I set this up by talking about, sequels to movies based on popular video games. So, last night I watched Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And this joke would have worked a lot better if I hadn't have spoiled what movie I was going to talk about in the title of this podcast, but I didn't think of doing this stupid intro until like a minute before I started, so whatever. I'm a pretty fly by the seat of my pants operation here. I have not seen the Mario Galaxy movie. It is playing at my local drive-in, and by local I mean it's about half an hour that way. It's a bit of a drive. Um, but as is very common at the drive-in down south, the South Bay Drive-In, the Mario movie is double featuring with itself. And I'm not inclined to pay full price to see the same movie twice. What's kind of annoying is like, I love cartoons, I love animation, I love even cartoons aimed at small children. So I would happily go see a double feature of the Mario Galaxy movie and Hoppers. Even though I don't particularly have any interest in Hoppers, I'm sure it's fine. The marketing ain't doing shit for me, though. But Mario is doubling with itself on one screen, Hoppers is doubling with itself on another screen, and the third screen has two movies I don't think I've even heard of. Usually by the time they stop double featuring with themselves, they're no longer in at the drive-in, so I'll probably have to wait until the Mario Galaxy movie comes out on whatever streaming service it comes out on, hopefully on one I have access to. But I'm a big boy. I can wait for the Super Mario Galaxy movie to, hit streaming. Of course, I could always VOD it, I suppose. I'm not going to because I'm incredibly cheap. But yeah. So I saw the Incredibles and Despicable Me are to name a few. Movies that have themes. I'm trying to. Incredibles definitely. And Incredibles 2. Same exact themes. Almost the same exact movie. Iron Giant's great. Yeah, there's a bunch of them from Disney, Pixar, others. Even DreamWorks has some really great films. Um, some of the old Don Bluth stuff. Um, so yeah, I don't think the Super Mario movie is bad. I think it could be better, even though the spice that I would add is not particularly the goal of the film. Nor would it likely be of paramount importance to the majority of the target audience. However, they'd probably appreciate it in the years to come when they look back at the suit, when they hit their 20s or whatever, and they look back at the Super Mario movies and they revisit them and they're like, you know what, that's actually, I remember loving this and watching it over and over at home. Let's check it out again now that I'm in my 20s. And they watch it like, you know what, that holds up. That's a pretty good movie. And I appreciate it in a new way now that I'm an adult. Whereas they'll probably revisit it in a decade and go, that's fine. It's colorful, it's fun, it moves. I think the needle drops are a little distracting, but other than that, it's fine. Or I could be sociable and go to my local theater, not my local car. No, I'm not gonna do that. Other people? Could you imagine? Let's see. I waited for Godzilla -1 to hit Netflix. Sorry for your loss of your limited lifespan. Yeah, Godzilla -1. I didn't like it. What? Let me put that a different way. I did not think Godzilla -1 was anywhere near as good as a lot of people seem to. A lot of people. I did not enjoy the movie at the same high level that many others did, and that gave me a sad. Um. So FNAF 2. So I saw FNAF 1 last year or the year before, and I thought it was particularly interesting because it starts out quite strong. A lot stronger than I was really expecting the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I played the first game. I thought it was fine. I thought it had a really good aesthetic to it. I thought the design sensibility was on point. Um, I thought it, but I also thought it was fun for like half an hour, and then I was done for it with it. I'm like, oh, that's fun. It's cute. The guy on the phone is hilarious. The kind of the setup is funny. The animatronics are appropriately creepy, and particularly for someone my age, triggers that nostalgia for the animatronics at pizza places that I visited when I was a kid, like Chuck E. Cheese's or Pistol Pete's or Showbiz. I think Showbiz owned Pistol Pete's Pizza, but yeah. So, but I was like, I heard they were trying to make a movie 10 years later. I'm like, it seemed to kind of miss the mark on that. I'm like, I don't know if a movie is gonna work. Like this is a concept that works for a pretty short video game, but let's see. So I saw the first movie at home, of course, alone, because can't have other people bothering me when I'm watching a movie. Social. Other people. That's a funny idea. Some people play video games with other people. That is so weird. So I watched the first FNAF movie, and I was surprised and rather delighted to find that it started out very strong. But what I found particularly interesting about the movie, in my opinion, is that it started super strong, and then after about 10 minutes, it just kind of got worse and kept getting worse and just continually got worse as the movie progressed. Never got any better, always just got worse the further into the movie. it got, until it was just outright a bad movie by the end. I don't know that I've ever seen another movie do that. I've seen movies with like strong starts and then they're just like, oh, it just had a really great opening scene. Like, excuse me. Got to make sure that's not important. It's my phone, so it's probably not important, but you never know. Oh, Kelly just saw Super Mario World. Let me be pedantic. Galaxy? Question mark? Yes, jackass, Galaxy. Um, I've seen movies with strong starts and then they're just crap, like Ghost Ship. Yeah, notoriously that movie has that great opening scene where the wire sweeps across the boat and cuts everyone in half, except for the little girl because she's really short, right? And it just swoops above her head, right? That is a classic barnstormer of an opening scene, and the rest of the movie just kind of sucks, right? There are other movies that have really slow starts, and you see this a lot in particularly television shows. They just don't start well, and then they ramp up and they get really good. It's like, oh, it takes a few episodes, but this show's really good. Where it's like, it gets really good by the 5th season, right? I don't know that, I can't think of another movie that starts super strong and then just gets worse and worse as you go through the film. So I was actually kind of interested to see, how very rude to be texting my sister during a podcast. Um, to see, well, how would the sequel pan out? Would it start shit and just get better as it goes? Would it do exactly the same thing? Would it just be shit the entire time? Let's see. This is going to be hard. I love the games, hated the movies because of the sequel. Okay. Um, so FNAF 2 also has a decently strong start. I don't think as strong as the first film, but decent strong start. Um, but it's not really like the first 10 minutes of the movie. It's like the opening scene is pretty good, particularly when operating within the confines of the PG-13 rating. At least I'm assuming it's a PG-13. I know it's not an R. I could look it up real quick because that's super important. Do 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 da 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 da. All right, what is this movie rated? It is PG-13. Yes. Okay. So, so is FNAF 2 any good? No. No, it is monumentally bad. It is awful. It is stunningly crap. I did not enjoy myself. In fact, it's one of those movies where I was sitting on my couch, constantly shifting cheek to cheek, when I finally broke down and checked the time code to see how much more of this gosh darn movie I have to sit through, because of course I'm being forced to watch a movie. I am socially obligated to watch a movie that I don't want to watch. You know how it is. Um, I'm like, oh my god, I know it's like an hour and 45 minutes. Actually, I still have it open. It is an hour and 44 minutes. It's pretty close. Um, so I'm like, oh god, how much more of this? 15, 20 minutes? And I checked the time code. Only 35 minutes had passed. I'm like, oh god. Oh, it's gonna be one of these. It's going to be one of these movies that feels like it's 6 hours long. It feels like it's literally Five Nights at Freddy's. Kelly says it's good, first one better, but definitely cute. Regarding the Mario Galaxy movie. So there you The thing I'm looking forward most to in the Galaxy 2 movie is there seems to be this thing in the marketing seems to be showing that Toad just really doesn't like Yoshi. Like, he's not antagonistic, but he's like, oh, it's Yoshi. Great. You know, if that's actually a thing in the movie, that I think that might tickle my funny bone. Just Toad just doesn't. Everyone loves Yoshi. He's adorable. Toad's like, I just don't vibe with that guy. um. I fail. It's Price is Right rules. I have no idea what Price is Right rules are. Isn't it whoever gets closest to a price win without going over wins? Not sure how that's applicable, but I don't watch game shows, so I don't know. So yeah, FNAF 2, bad movie, stunningly bad. The animatronics look great. Not surprising. They looked great in the first movie, and certainly I don't think any fans of the game are going to have a problem with how their favorite animatronics are represented in the film, because they're pretty gosh darn game accurate. They look great. They look they have like the three different versions from, you know, they have the classics, they have the new toy versions, and then they have the torn apart ones. You know, the one where, you know, Bonnie is missing half of her face, and the Foxy that's, you know, all mangled and put together in a different way, right? Looks exactly like what they're supposed to. That's great. I like that. Not the hugest FNAF fan, but I do, aesthetically, I've always been quite partial to the design work in that game. I think it really does a nice job of tapping into that creepy cuteness of, you know, 80s pizzeria animatronics. Wizards, there you go. For the time code. Okay, yeah, right. I said 145, but it's 144, or a minute for hour 45. It's actually an hour and 44 minutes. So I went over, so I lose. Okay, that's, yeah, you are correct. The best kind of correct, technically. I said that joke in the wrong order and it doesn't work. Okay, FNAF 2, where was I? Right, FNAF 2. So, I think FNAF 2 could have, I think it has a germ of a great starting point for a fun haunted animatronic story. A young kid at the pizzeria back in the early 80s is ignored by all of the adults. You know, she's a loner, she has no friends, every attempt she makes to connect with someone is rebuffed. No one has time for her. So she's sitting by herself when suddenly she sees the yellow Springtrap kidnap a child and drag him into the back rooms. Oh no! I don't even know this kid, but I must help him because I'm a good person and that's what good people do, but I'm just a young child, so what can I do? I'll get an adult. And she goes to the nearest adult, and the adult's like, oh, go, I'm busy, go away. And she goes to the next adult and is rebuffed again. And she goes adult to adult, getting more and more frantic. There's a child in danger. Do you not care? You're the adults. You're supposed to help. You're supposed to care about the wee ones. And unable to get any adults to give her the time of day, they're too busy, worried about their own stuff, like, I don't know, playing skee-ball or whatever. She says, fine, to heck with the adults. I'll play the hero, even though I'm a small child. I will go into the back rooms and brave the wrath of Springtrap the bunny and save the even younger child. So she sneaks into the back, and it's well shot and atmospheric and appropriately creepy and tense, and she sees Springtrap whistling that you know, the creepy Freddy tune, and she sees the child who's not dead. And there's a little, she's hiding behind tables, trying not to get caught. And suddenly, oh no, I lost track of Springtrap. Where is he? Well, I better pick up this young kid. Of course, I'm a young kid myself, so it's really heavy to carry a smaller kid and get him out of the back room. I just have to run him out to where the parents are before Springtrap catches me. So it's kind of like a nightmare sequence where you're running down the seemingly endless hallway and you just can't get where you're going. It's too far. Your legs are made of lead. It gives that really that kind of nightmarish feeling as Springtrap is bearing down on this child from behind, and she's so close to getting out. I'm going to spoil the beginning of the movie, by the way. She's so close to getting out, and she bursts out into the light of the main area where all the adults are, but it's too late because Springtrap stabbed the shit out of her. And she falls, I mean, at least the kid's okay, but the other kid, the kid that she picked up, and she falls to the ground, and she yells a primal, guttural scream of rage at the adults who all failed in their responsibility. The one thing they had to do, keep the children safe. And she's going to die in fear and pain because the goddamn adults couldn't be bothered to do the one thing that they're required to do. And so, her rage manifests itself as a spirit of some sort and possesses the animatronics. And they go on a killing spree, killing the adults any adult, because that's what the rage is aimed at, right? Lil Charlotte, whatever her name is, she didn't carry on. Her rage did. That's a pretty cool place to start. That's not a bad setup for a film. That is not what this film does at all, though. And I think part of it is probably because they feel obligated to dump as much shit from the games in as they possibly can, whether it makes a better movie or not, or even if it makes it a completely incoherent, incomprehensible mess of a narrative, which it absolutely does. I mean, for as much as the Super Mario movie, and I would assume the Galaxy movie too, seems to be a bit more concerned with the iconography. You know, the movie seems to be a bit more, hey, look at that. That's Wart from Super Mario 2 and Birdo and Mauser. Cool. You recognize it. Hey, that's that enemy from the other game. Hey, you recognize that? That's that thing from that one level in that one game. Yay, all the things you recognize. Clap and cheer, clap and cheer. Right? Yeah, I imagine it probably does that, but it's also easy enough to follow. Like, there's a narrative through line. It is stupid simple, but it's a line. An unbroken line that goes from point A to point B with really no stops in between. It's fine. FNAF 2 is just so narratively broken from a basic storytelling point that I can't help but be bothered by the smaller, inconsequential details that I would, of course, make fun of because it's fun. But let me see if I can think of an example. A lot of some of the plot has to do with wireless signals and the wireless management system at the original pizza place. And there are elements of this that don't make any sense, even with a hand-wavy, it was technology beyond its time. You know what? Fine. I don't give a shit. That's fine. But there's just like logical elements of it that just don't add up. And normally, if the movie is progressing plot beat to plot beat without a problem, or the characters are cool, or the action scenes are well staged, or hopefully a combination of all those things. Then, the smaller stuff that doesn't really make logical, realistic sense, you can go like, it's a movie, it's facilitating the story. But when the story just isn't there, then you start getting hung up on that fact and all the rest of those little details that may not make any sense on their own, but are in support of the purpose of the narrative itself, right? So, the characters are terrible. I mean, the acting is fine for what they have to do. I don't have a problem with any of the performers, but there's a lot of shit in this movie that just doesn't make any damn sense. Um, there's also the action scenes with, well, the opening scene and one kill towards the beginning of the movie, as notable exceptions. All of the action in the movie is just bad. It's not well conceived, it's not well choreographed, it's not well shot. Like, all of the action scenes are just boring. Um, Also, the animatronics move so slow, and I don't remember the animatronic. I mean, they're big, bulky animatronics. They don't move fast, except Foxy's supposed to move fast, but doesn't in this one. I don't remember them moving this gosh darn slow as they do in the second movie. They move so unbelievably slowly in the second movie, RoboCop would look at him and go, "My God, guys, get the lead out." Um, I mean, people always joke, it's like, how do you not get away from Michael Myers? The dude just casually strolls after you. It's even worse here. Um, the kills are, well, actually, there's not many kills, come to think of it. There is one standout, other than Charlie at the very beginning of the movie. You don't actually see anything, but again, that's a child getting killed in a PG-13 film, so I think they handled it really, really well. There is a great sequence where Mangle, the pulled apart, put together toy Foxy animatronic, yanks some kid up to the ceiling he has a camera. He's in the pizzeria filming shit. He gets yanked up onto the ceiling. The camera falls on the ground, and the audience camera is focused on the in-universe camera's viewfinder, and through the viewfinder we see body parts dropping from the ceiling one at a time. A little bit out of focus, but you can tell, oh, that's a hand, that's a foot, it's PG-13, but it's so well conceived, so well staged, so well shot, that if the movie was that inventive and that well executed throughout the rest of its runtime, I wouldn't have much of a problem. But that's really the only standout there, which is a shame because it's a really well conceived kill. The rest of them are just not, really boring. The characters are boring. Some characters are, there are a lot of moments in the film that are super reliant on you knowing not only the games but who the actors are. Like, there's one actor in the movie who's like, "Hey, we're gonna treat this like this is an amazing reveal," and it's like, "Hey, do you remember that guy in the first movie? You remember how 30 years ago he was in another movie? Well, here's his co-star from that movie 30 years ago." Okay. I feel it's one of those movies where I almost feel kind of embarrassed for the performers because they're trying their best. They've got nothing to work with. Um, I mean, even they do the FNAF 2 video game scene where Mike is sitting at or, well, I don't know if it's Mike in the game, but the player character sat at a desk in a security office with no door and two vents on the side, and he has to I think in the game you have to point the flashlight at things to get them to stop. That's not really a thing in the movie, but the Freddy mask is. Like he puts the mask on so that they don't they think he's an animatronic and they go away, which is a fun conceit. But this whole scene is so poorly shot and realized and shot that it has zero tension. Like Foxy, the fastest one, is in the room. He notices that the hat thing isn't, the animatronic head isn't working, and he just kind of shrugs and ignores Foxy and continues playing on the computer, trying to isolate the wireless signal or whatever the hell he's doing. And Foxy's just kind of standing there, waiting for, I guess, the director to tell him that it's okay to jump at the player character. He's like, oh, well, it has to, you know, the script says that I jump at you, and you, right as you find the right combination of keys that shuts off the wireless signal, so I immediately stop before you get bit in the face. But you're clearly not there yet, so I'm gonna be like, Yar! 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 This is kind of awkward here, man. I'm looking like kind of a jackass just standing here doing nothing. Yar! It's just really kind of embarrassing. There's another scene where it's not clear whether the animatronics that the film clearly already showed in another shot, like with a spotlight, are supposed to be there or not. Because the little girl Abby, she's like, where are my friends? I'm like, they're right there. The camera just showed them. They're right in front of you on stage, except Foxy. You don't know where Foxy is. It's like, well, they're kind of everywhere. They're destroyed bits and pieces. I'm like, they're literally right there. What the hell are you talking about? Maybe they were trying to refer to, like, the ghost children. It's just poorly written and unclear. There's also this whole thing with Vanessa, who the cop lady, who's Will Lafferton's daughter, and Mike is having trouble trusting her. And, you know, even though everything they went through, how can he trust her if she keeps lying to him and keeps holding things from him? And he's like, I can't trust you. You stay away from my family. Harumph. And every time it's something that's like not a big deal and not important and not relevant or pertinent to literally anything. Like he finds, you didn't tell me there was a second pizzeria. Oh, how can I ever trust you? And it's like, why the fuck would I tell you about the other pizzeria? How is it? You never asked. That was never relevant. Hey, Mike, did you know there's another pizzeria? Like, ostensibly within like an hour's bike ride, too. It's really close. I don't know if you knew it was there, but it's totally there. It'd be like, oh my god, this changes everything. So at the climax of the film, I'm just going to spoil it. So if you're worried about FNAF 2 spoilers, bow out, I guess. The security guard for the old pizza place shows up, along with the other evil animatronics, and he's like, "Mwahaha! I'm the lost son of William Atherton." Is it William Atherton? I think I've got that wrong. I think I've got an actor's name. Yeah. Oops. Anyway, which makes me her brother, Vanessa's brother. And he's like, join me, and together we will rule the galaxy as brother and sister. And she says, no, I'll never join you. And she walks back to, Mike and Abby, and she says, I've found my true family. And she's basically, they're surrounded by evil animatronics. They're all going to die now. So, that's pretty brave. Like, she gonna die. She had an out, but she's not taking it because she's not standing with evil. She's going to stand with her friends, the people she loves and cares about. And then the climax of the movie happens, And then they're like, okay, we have to go to the place to do the thing. And she's like, yeah, let's go. And Mike turns around and says, oh no, you're not. I can't trust you. You horrible liar. You stay away from me and Abby. What? You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me you had a brother. You're right. Yeah, you got me there. I totally never mentioned the fact that I had a who the fuck care? What difference does that make, Mike? Poor Vanessa, she's saying, well, shit, I should have joined my brother and ruled the galaxy as siblings. Could have taken over the world with animatronics. Instead, I threw my lot in with a guy who is really pissy that I didn't even lie to him. I didn't say I didn't say I was an only child. I didn't say there was no other pizzeria. It never fucking came up. It's not relevant to anything. It changes nothing. It's the weirdest goddamn thing. And then the movie just stops. Which is kind of irritating, but on the other hand, I wasn't really enjoying it, so I'm like, I'd appreciate a movie that has the decency to end rather than just, stop, but, I mean, it doesn't have a courtesy, will continue in FNAF 3 kind of a thing. It just stops. And nothing is resolved. Like, literally nothing is I mean, one of the ghost children, I guess, goes to heaven. Which, no, you killed a bunch of people in the previous movie. Your soul's not going to heaven, buddy. Sorry, probably not. I don't know how this whole thing works in this universe, but that could have been a funny gag. It's like, we have to leave now. Are you going to heaven? Yeah, you remember that girl we bit in half in the last movie? Probably not. I don't know how this whole afterlife works, but there's a whole FNAF fair or carnival that I have a feeling that they like. It's so small and so unimportant to the plot. It feels like there was like a street festival at some point, and they just threw a couple people in FNAF-y costumes and had them walk around on the sidewalk because it's very small scale. It doesn't have anything to do with the movie. Also, Abby is 11 or 12 or something, so she'd be in like 6th grade or something, and she's in like a college-level robotics course, which they teach at a middle school. And apparently the instructor of the instructor of this course, this advanced robotics course for 12-year-olds, is like, we have to win the science fair. I'm like, why? Is there money in this? Is the 6th grade robotics science fair like responsible for grants that support the school? What is even going on? And then he's like, oh, and she brings one of the animatronics in when he destroys a animatronic that she built and like prefabbed some plastic for, but I don't know how the hell she did that. I mean, I think this takes place in like 2002 or 4 or something like that, and I guess she has a 3D printer. I don't know. But anyway, he's like, how your science fair sucks, and then he just like leaves the entire science fair and wanders around in the back to get his keys for something. I mean, he goes to the back because he needs to be murdered by an animatronic. And the animatronic is like, I'm gonna go talk to him. See what's going on in his head. I'm like, okay, that's a good line. And then she, but she's so fucking slow, she has to wait until he comes to her. So there's almost no tension in the scene whatsoever. And so she grabs him by the face and is like, I want to know what's in your head. I'm like, you... editor, she already said that. But then again, I think she says it like a 3rd time later in the movie, so I'm like, okay, maybe they're going for the ghost of Charlie is just an unimaginative child and just thinks she's being very cool and repeating the same line over and over. But it just comes off as it's just poor writing or poor editing, or it's a bad movie. It is a stunningly poor film. I did not like it. The score's okay. So that's, the score's fine. Again, the animatronics are great. Both visually and mechanically. They look great. It's not 2.5 hours. It feels like it's 5 days long, but it's a decent length. So yeah, did not really care for FNAF 2. It's a movie that normally I see a movie I don't like, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't like it. That's a shame, and I don't think about it anymore. But FNAF 2, I think that one. I've been thinking about it for 24 hours now. I thought about it well, it's not been 24 hours because I watched it late last night. But I thought about it as I went to sleep. I thought about it when I got up. I thought about it several times throughout the day. I've been talking about it for nearly an hour. This movie is such a special type of bad for me that I think it's going to stick with me for longer than most movies I consider bad. Which, congratulations, I guess. Yeah, that was not a good movie. Let's see. In the movie's puppets killed by Springtrap late at night in a dark alleyway. What do you mean movies? There's two of them and that doesn't happen. Springtrap was or unless you mean the video games or internet fan films. I don't know. Oh, in the games. Okay, yeah. Oh, the scene where Foxy almost attacks Mike is a recreation of a parody animation. Oh, that's a stunningly bad idea for a film. I mean, I'm sure some people got the reference, but that's a bad idea. Yeah, William Afton. I'm saying William Atherton, right? The guy who played Walter Peck in the Ghostbusters films. Yeah. Chaos is saying, yeah, that's Walter Peck from Ghostbusters. Yeah. Ghost children go to heaven. They were being possessed by evil energy of Springtrap. Okay, cool. That's not clear from the movies, but like that's the least of this film's problem. Also, apparently, it's unclear. It's like, could you only get like one of the kids from the previous film? Because there's a ghost child. It's like, oh, the animatronics are failing because we're away from the location, which was never established as actually a thing. But who cares? Whatever. So I'm afraid we've got to pass on. It's like there's only one kid. Where are the other kids? Could they not get the rest of the actors? What does that mean for the movie? Was that particular ghost child? I don't even remember if it's the same actor from the first film, but was this ghost child piloting all of them? Or did the other ones already go to heaven and he was just the last to go so he could talk to Abby? I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. Why can the marionette just kind of possess people and make them fly around? I don't know. And it's honestly a cool visual. It's pretty creepy. The puppet possessed people get cool makeup and glowing yellow eyes and long spindly fingers, and they float through the air. No idea why the hell it works that way, but it's cool, so I don't really care. At least I wouldn't if the movie were better. You were 12 years old in 8th grade? Did you skip a year? Because I was 13 or so in 8th grade. I think I turned 14 in No, I think I yeah, no, I was yeah, 13 to 14 in 8th grade, I think. Because I think I was 14 when the hell did I go to high school? 94? So yeah, I would have been 14. Yeah. So the FNAF movies need to be made by Tim Burton. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Like again, I think it has a cool germ of an idea. Like that kernel of the rage of a betrayed child manifesting as possessed animatronics that go after parents. That's a great starting point for a slasher animatronic movie, I think. I think there's a lot you could do there. But there's just a bunch of shit in this movie that doesn't add up, doesn't make sense, and isn't fun to watch, so. I mean, the animatronics are still cool. I wish they were in better scenes. Because even like oh, awesome, the old animatronics are here to kick the ass of the new animatronics, and it's such a boring scene. It's like that should have been like the part of the movie, and it's just boring. It's not well choreographed, it's not well conceived, it's not shot in an interesting way. The bit where the puppet explodes from Chica's chest, that was good. That was like, oh shit, what's going on there? That was an effective little moment right there. There's a couple little moments that actually work, but whoo doggy, overall bad movie. Yeah, the movies are bad. The first one starts pretty strong and then gets worse, and the second one has a few decent moments and it's just kind of crap the entire time. Oh well, will I watch 3? Yeah, probably. If I have nothing, if it's on a streaming service, I have. Are they even I haven't even heard they were making it. Usually I know there's like I went into Fellowship of the Ring knowing they were doing Two Towers. I didn't go see Dune, but I knew they were doing a Dune 2, so that wouldn't have caught me off guard. This caught me off guard. I had no idea this movie ends in the middle, or stops. And I've not heard that they're doing a FNAF 3. I have no idea if they're doing it or not. I did hear that they're doing a Fall 2 and a Fall 3, and I have no idea what the hell they're doing with those. It's like, so the first Fall movie... What the hell is on my floor? The first Fall movie is a pair of friends climb up a tall radio tower, and the ladder breaks, so they're stuck at the top of a radio tower and have to figure out how to get down without falling or starving to death. And do they? Do any of them survive? I'll leave that to you to watch the movie. But we'll say at least one of them survives to go on to a sequel, where apparently they are like traumatized by the events of the first movie and try to get over that trauma by going to another high place. And they get stuck again. And it's like, okay, I don't know what you're going to do for a third movie. So do they survive the second movie, and then the third movie they like, let's give it another shot. Let's go to another high place and to get over this fear of being trapped in high places. Like, I mean, if you get trapped in a high place and you finally get down and you've got this fear of high place and you're like, I'm gonna shock therapy my way into getting over this. I'm gonna go to another high place. Well, god damn it, I got stuck here again. I think the universe is telling you to stay the hell away from high places at this point. There should not be a third movie. Unless it's different characters. I don't know. Anyway. Five Nights 3 is planned to be an R-rated gory movie based on... I seriously doubt that. I mean, maybe that's the plan, but I seriously doubt that's going to happen. I mean, I mean, first of all, that's contrary to the nature of the games. The games aren't gory, right? I think PG-13 is perfectly appropriate for the FNAF films. Though, as a gore hound, I wouldn't complain if these things literally rip people apart and they go pop like blood-filled water balloons. I'd be perfectly fine with that, but that doesn't seem to feel like Five Nights. That seems to be outside of the tone of the IP anyway, but we'll see. Wow, I spent the entire time talking about FNAF 2. I was going to talk about a video game that I played and quite liked, but it's 8 o'clock, so I'm going to have dinner instead. So, tomorrow we're gonna play a little bit more Resident Evil 4 on the remake on the stream, because we didn't find Baby Eagle, and we need Baby Eagle to get into the Big Cheese's attic. Because the first time I played the game a couple of years ago, I accidentally passed a point of no return before I got a chance to explore that area. And I mean, there may only be like a green herb up there, or like a little research document or something like that, but I really want to see what's in the attic. So tomorrow for the Sunday stream, we'll continue on with Resident Evil 4 and find Baby Eagle and get on up into the attic and see what's up there. And then still going to be another couple weeks till we hit Cold Steel 3. I am working on the post Cold Steel 2 video, but it's a large project because I'm concerned. The video concerns the music of the Trails games up through Cold Steel 2, and that's about 20 hours of music. So it's taken a while. I'm currently almost done. I'm about a third of the way through Trails 0. So gonna be a couple of weeks. But that's it for tonight. Thanks for hanging out, and hope to see you for some Sunday streaming. So till then, folks, take care. Bye bye.